Well, with my depression, it was more like just overbearing force on me that was just constantly pushing down my feelings and my thoughts. I didn't want to get out of bed ever. I didn't want to hang out with anyone. I just wanted to go and do anything that I could to kind of forget how I felt, and how I perceived the world was just really awful, and it made me do really dumb things as a young kid, and I got into bad groups of people. My lowest point was probably, I attempted suicide 4 times, and my first 2 were within a week of each other, and so that was probably my lowest kind of point. Just kind of, I'd been thinking about it for a really, really long time, and I'd been really, really depressed for a long time, and I finally kind of dug myself into the hole that you don't feel like you can get out of for a span of like 2 weeks. I just couldn't handle myself. It was probably the second time that I attempted was the very lowest point, just because I felt like a failure for failing to kill myself. Like, I felt like a failure because I didn't do the one thing that I like wanted to do, and I didn't do the one thing that I felt like would make everything better. I kept a notebook of all my feelings and stuff, and then my nanny found the notebook, and she was like really worried because obviously it had stuff about suicide and self-harm and stuff like that in it. And so I was sent to counseling. It really didn't help me because I wasn't willing to be honest with my counselor, which is usually not the case for most people. I think I have a different side of depression than a lot of people have. And so I really internalized everything and kind of kept everything to myself, and helped myself more out of my issues than I think anyone could have helped me to do it. Like, so I think I did stuff with online, and I talked to people online that felt similar to me, that like counseling didn't help, and antidepressants didn't help, anything like that really didn't help me. So I kind of had to learn to love myself in a very slow pace. In freshman year, I lost all of my friends, all of them, every single friend. They all hated me because of some really, really stupid stuff. And they weren't a good group of friends. They weren't actually like true friends to me. So the day that I came to school the next day after getting in a huge fight with my friends, I was so concerned because, like, I mean, this is like cliche, but who am I going to sit with at lunch? Like, what am I going to do when I get there, and who am I going to sit with, and what's going to happen? And so I kind of just like went over to a group of people that I knew from middle school that I wasn't like good friends with, but I knew them. And they kind of like were really nice to me and took me in, and that kind of turned a new leaf for me, I guess, in the way that like I felt like I could kind of build my self-confidence up again, and not have to, because I've really bad social anxiety. I get really worried about like having friends and people liking me and stuff like that, and so that kind of turned over that new leaf that, I mean, I do have friends besides that small friend group that I had, and they're better people and they like me more. And I guess that kind of was the turning point of just me beginning to like understand that I can love myself, and that's an okay thing to do.